Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We're taking a look at the TRX-4 Sport today. First off, this truck sells for $459.99 in Canada. I paid $569.99 for my TRX-4 tactical unit, which is a far superior truck in every single way, shape, and form over this thing. I investigated a ton of videos. I mean a ton on this truck. I even heard owners of this truck saying that the regular TRX would have done a better job on what they were trying to do with this truck. That's pretty sad because they went out and bought this truck thinking, oh, I love this, it's so cool, it's plain Jane, yay! Okay, an Axial SCX-10 right now you can buy that'll kick this thing's butt for 400 bucks Canadian, okay? $449 for a really nice looking one. Okay, 400 bucks you get an SCX-10-2 deadbolt. Okay, it's got a higher torque motor, 35 turns, 3-channel radio system, has metal links in it. Hello, okay, permanently locked diffs too. Single speed tranny. Basically all the same features but more for your money and less money in fact than what it costs to buy this thing. Okay, pretty sad when you think about it. Axial actually came in cheaper and with a more superior vehicle than this for less money. This thing's worth about 350 bucks Canadian in my books, okay? Bottom lining it. I own a TRX-4 tactical unit. Some of you know that. It's a great little unit. If you haven't seen it, well, hey, stay tuned. Don't click away yet. Okay, here we go. Tactical unit. There's my truck. This is one I own, $569.99 Canadian. That was worth every single penny. I got locking, unlocking discs, I got a 2-speed transmission. Yeah, I got the same sucky motor, 21 turn, but I'm going to upgrade that. But even the motor with the present gearing of that transmission is actually working quite well. And I've gotten even over 3 hours of runtime out of a 4,500 milliamp 90C discharge battery, by SMC, of course. Now, let's get into some nitty-gritties here. All right. This truck has got a really crappy, unlicensed body. Who cares if it's licensed or unlicensed, doesn't matter. There is no fender well protection here, okay? So that means all that crud gets inside, especially in the winter. Your truck's going to be sitting on the ground in no time, okay? Mine won't. It'll be all protected pretty well, so very little snow will actually make it on the inside of my truck. Same as with any of the other TRX-4s. They're well protected with those fender well systems and how they seal up the chassis. Okay, really good thought out design and strengthens the bodies too that way. Whether you have a Bronco, like the Bronco is like the same type of body as this, but the fender wells are actually integrated to the chassis on the Bronco, so the body is well protected, right? Where this thing, it's all flimsy. Right? It's all flimsy. It's just, you know, so you take a big dive, you're going to see your Lexan body doing the springboard thing, you know, whereas the Bronco not so easily. Same as the Cherokee, I think the Cherokee is the same way. Let's take a quick look at the Cherokee. Here we go. Nope, we don't want that. Okay, we want Traxxas. Cherokee. Let's see how the Cherokee is set up inside. Okay, Cherokee integrated right there. Boom. Shock towers are integrated to the fenders on this one too, which is great. Okay, because that makes for an even stronger shock tower system, right? Which is pretty cool. But you'll notice it's pretty well sealed. Not much crud is going to get inside your top end of your electronics area and stuff, right? Because this is pretty much sealed. When that body goes on, it goes right into the rail, same as, yes, your little Sport. The side panels go into there. But everything else sits there and it stays very rigid and so it's well protected. Like even your front end body is protected very well. You know, everything has got really good protection on it. So can you ask for more? Not really. Great little truck, right? Now not everybody likes Cherokees, not everybody likes Broncos. Some guys like pickup trucks, right? Well, whatever. I mean, I don't mind a pickup truck either, you know. But I would have liked to see Traxxas at least keep fender wells in this bloody thing to give the body some strength, you know, and keep crud out of there, which would be nice, you know. But they didn't, unfortunately. So you've got a design factor that's very wide open, as you can see here. Now, I want to get a few things out of the way as quick as I can anyway, because otherwise it's going to be forever video. Um, Center of gravity. Okay, a lot of people talk about the battery sitting up too high. Total horse hockey. It's not sitting up high. Some people say the Lexan bodies on the trucks are what makes them tip over too easy. Again, wrong. Okay, improperly set up suspension will do that, because if it's too squishy, yeah, it's going to roll over real easy. Okay, if it's too hard, it can also have problems too. You got to find that level, and you got to find out what your truck can do with its equipment before you start adding weight. But for goodness sake, guys, don't listen to people who are saying, you got to take off weight, you got to take off this and take off that and take off that. No, you don't. You need that weight. Jeepers, really, seriously. Okay, your tires need to sit on the ground, okay, not sit on the air, okay? You need the most tread you can get across that width on the ground, okay? Whether you're on a rock, whether you're on dirt, grass, whatever, you need maximum amount of tread on the surface, okay? That means you need what? You need weight, okay? But you need it set up properly. And I think that would take an entire video and then some to go through how to do that. However, I'll give you some basic ideas here. Get aluminum wheels, okay? For a starter. Try and get weighted ones if you can. The heavier the better. Rip out that 21 turn motor, especially out of this truck, because it's going to get destroyed. Put in a 35 to 55 turn motor. 55 probably be your best bet. But get some nice aluminum bead locks that are definitely heavier than these plastic pieces of junk, okay? Add weight into your axles, not into your chassis. But if you must add chassis weight, be very careful how you do things. All right, I've added some chassis weight because I've got an ESS dual plus sound system in my truck, and it sits at the rear. I had to add some preload to my rear end, which I had to add even before I put that box in. Okay, but I had to add a smidge more once I put the box in, and I had to lower my front end a little bit to get some front dip. This helps keep my nose on the ground when I'm on steep inclines going upward. Now going downward, you got to watch too that your rear end is not sitting too high, otherwise your front end gets pushed down too low on that incline down and you go butt over tea kettle, okay? So you got to be careful how you set that up. So try and keep your weight below the chassis, so this way you don't have to mess with your suspension as little as possible. Put in a bigger motor. I'm ordering a bigger motor for my TRX-4 Tactical. The 21 turn is kind of sufficient if you're not adding anything into it, you know. But the 21 is a very weak motor regardless. It shouldn't even be in there, okay? Even Axial was smart enough with their first SCX-10s to put 27 turn motors in, which weren't bad. They actually lasted a long time and they were really good motors. But when we started adding metal upgrades in and weighing down that beast, the 27s would burn up on us. So now they put in a 35 turn motor. Now that's more practical, okay? But 35 to 55 turn. If you're going to do a lot of metal upgrades, put in a 55 turn, okay? Even if you're running a regular TRX. But if you're going to run the Sport, yeah, and you're going to add a bunch of weight to it to keep it planted, put in 35 to 55 turn, and you should be good. And they don't cost that much, you know, cheap investment. But the 21s aren't the world's best, and brake holding is not the best even on the regular TRX4s with the 21 turns. They don't have a lot of brake force to them, regardless of the gearing. I mean, on the low gear, I get pretty good brake force, but you know, even with the minimal amount of weight I've added, and I've only added about a pound to my truck, so my truck weighs like 7.6 pounds right now. On a fairly steep, you know, downward incline or even upward, my brakes don't hold the best. They hold fairly good, but they could be better. And the only way to get them better is a higher turn rate motor. That's the only way to do it, okay? So that's something you might want to upgrade right away. I have actually heard owners on videos say that their Sport kind of sucked and that the regular TRX4 would have done a much better job. And they're running the same tires on the Sport that they do on the other TRXs, but it's not about the tires. It's about the truck itself, the weight of the truck, the setup of the truck, the gearing ratio, because you've got a 2-speed tranny. See, a lot of guys wanted permanently locked diffs, single-speed tranny, plain Jane radio. Fine, go for it. Here you go. You got your wish. But you got a truck that's only worth about $350 Canadian, or what's that, about $200 US or something? I don't know. But the truck is only worth about $350 in my books, you know, and they want $459 in Canada for this sucker. All right. Now, from Axial, I can get a truck that'll smoke this thing completely, okay, for $449, even $400. The SCX-102 deadbolt will smoke it, all right? And that's just a fact. Whether you like it or not, you wanted to hear that or not, oh well, too bad, you heard it. For $469, again, you can get a really smoking truck, you know, that'll kick its butt. These all have 3-channel radios in them, okay? Not 2-channel like your Sport, 3, okay? And of course you've got metal links, you got 35-turn motors, 1.9s on there, etc., etc. Okay, I mean the list goes on, right? You know, these are really great trucks. You know, the original SCX-10, which is the one I had, which is actually this one, is the deadbolt, the original deadbolt. Okay, this had like 27-turn motor, lots of plastic links on it. Now everything's going to metal, which is great. They got smart, and they also didn't charge us much extra. And these had 27-turn motors in them. So that's a better motor than a 21. But the 35s they're putting in them now are an even better upgrade, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, think about this. This is, you know, Axial's actually coming up in the game, all right? But nonetheless, Traxxas fanatics, they wanted a stripped down version. That's what you got. Very stripped down, okay? Now, I have nothing against locked diffs. They have their place. I have nothing against single speed trannies. Has their place, okay? However, in the case of this truck, there's a lot of drawbacks too, okay? Especially in the body shell. Whether it's a licensed or unlicensed body makes no difference. It is a kind of a cool looking body, really. But you can't do a lot with it, and you have no fender wells, so your insides are not even protected, which really sucks. At least in all the other TRXs, there's a lot of protection there, especially for winter driving. You know, you guys should know by now that winter driving, and you got an open area like this, you're going to get flooded with snow. Your truck's going to be sitting on the ground. It's going to be struggling, and you're wondering why you just cooked your motor, okay? And maybe your ESC while you were at it. This is why. The protection that's offered with fender wells and everything in the other TRXs is going to keep a large majority of that snow out of there, okay? So you're going to have a lot better driving experience in the winter, because you're not going to be taking your body shell off every 2 minutes to dump the snow out of it so you can keep driving and having fun, okay? This, you're going to be dumping it a lot because, yeah, it's going to get full of snow, mud, sand, you name it, okay? It's just going to be horrifying. But this is the way it goes. I love the portal axles on any of the TRXs. They're great. Portal axles are great. Lots of ground clearance there. The Axials have a 3-inch ground clearance, all right? These have 3.14, so 0.14 of an inch. Woohoo! Not a whole lot, but you know what? It actually does make a difference, all right? Some people would say that that 0.14 is nothing. Well, in a sense it is nothing, but in another sense it actually is a lot. It does actually make a difference. Now, there are armor upgrades you can get to protect your pumpkin heads and your skid plate and stuff. Highly recommend it. I just ordered a stainless steel 5-piece kit for my tactical, because after 2 runs I'm scraping stuff up and it's like, I don't want to replace plastic parts right now and I don't really want to upgrade them to metal right now. But for 20 bucks I got 5-piece stainless steel kit. It's going to protect everything and let the stainless steel get chewed at for a while. You know, I mean, I'm doing a lot of metal upgrades on mine, don't get me wrong, but, you know, you definitely need that armor protection underneath. It really makes a difference. For 20 bucks, man, you can't sneeze at a 5-piece protection kit. And if you're wondering, I got it at banggood.com. So there you go. But this truck is definitely way overpriced for what it is, for what it's offered. If you priced out all the stuff they stripped out of this to make you guys happy that wanted a truck like this, all those parts separately to purchase them, to put them all into this truck, okay, not including a body and no fender wells, because you won't be able to use fender wells, okay, you're still going to be able to buy a whole TRX normal truck, okay? It's just ludicrous, right? Because you got 3 servos, a 2-speed tranny, all the linkage cables, the locking and unlocking T-locks. They're going to have to go into it, etc., right? The radio gear too. You know, dollar value, yeah, it's $110. I'm not kidding. $110. $459.99. Okay. My tactical. $569.99. Okay. So let me see if I got a calculator here. So, whoops. 569.99 minus 459.99. Exactly $110 difference in price between my tactical, which has got all the bells and whistles, to the sport, which is stripped right down. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot more than $110 for those parts. Okay. So think about it. You're getting completely raked on the price of the sport. That sport should not be selling for more than $350 Canadian. Okay, so that's about 2 something US. Okay, shouldn't be selling for more than $350 Canadian for what they're giving you. Okay, that's just the way it goes. So, my opinion anyway. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of my findings on it. I did a lot of studying on this truck, listened to even owners crap about this particular truck, that the regular TRX could have done a better job, even right out of the box. You know, which is sad to hear that from their own owners. Other guys like the truck, that's fine, you know, but don't listen to anybody who says take off weight. You need weight. You just got to watch where you put the weight, okay? Because otherwise you can get yourself in a whole mess of other problems if you add it in the wrong places. All right. The shocks on this actually aren't bad. Could definitely use better quality shocks. I agree. Right. But that's something you can always mod. But the shocks on it are pretty adequate for what they are and how they perform. They're decent. Okay. But they're not. They could be improved more. Sure. Anything can be improved from factory. That's for darn sure. But anyway, that's my opinions. That's my findings. I wanted to keep this video short because didn't want to keep you here for like, you know, an hour or anything. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. Do the best I can to help, as usual. I'd never buy this truck, not knowing what I know now about it, especially after watching all of those videos for like all day and all evening. It's like crazy. I'm actually so happy that I went with the truck that I did. And although this kind of has a bit of a cool look to it, it has so many drawbacks and such a pathetically expensive price that it's just way overpriced. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more exciting videos.